Mark, that was picked by Bayern Munich and the talent that they had on the bench, they are one of the favourites for the Champions League. And they're a team you do not want to face in the next round, are you?
Yeah, they are. They're a good, strong team, but I thought Musiala was exceptional tonight. I thought he was the best player. But I think Bayern tonight, they didn't have to be at their best. I thought Thomas Muller had a great game, but Muller, he seems to have been around forever, and we've written him off. I don't know how many times, but I thought Goretzka and him in midfield, made it work. I do think Bayern will probably be outside that bracket of the real favourites to win it. I think they're not Real Madrid. They're not, one of the English teams. Maybe City go through. I just think Bayern lacks something right now. Maybe it's a striker. I don't think Choupo-Moting is going to win you a Champions League, but they didn't need to be the best team in the Champions League to knock PSG out. And I think, people always talk about, well, PSG, it's hard for PSG because the league's too easy. They don't get tested very often. Well, when was the last time Bayern Munich didn't win their league? They seem to have it quite easy as well, but they know how to win in Europe. And I just think there's something about, the pedigree of the club. The club knows how to win these games. You can feel it around the club. It's a club that expects to be where it is in the Champions League. And PSG, they want to be there. They're feeling their way around. And it's never very convincing. It's just, you look at the French teams in World Cups and Euros. France produce more talent than most countries. They're an amazing country for producing talent. But their club teams never seem to deliver. So, maybe the PSG philosophy going forward should be, let's not bring in all these expensive superstars from overseas. Let's try and get the best French talent, keep it in France, and make that a really, really strong team in Ligue 1. Pay them big money, and if translate the international dominance to the club scene. But I just don't think they'll do that. I think it's not glamorous enough for PSG and their owners.
Well, but that's the thing, though, Mark. They're running a business here, right? They're building a brand. I mean, I'm going to put my contrarian hat on, my invisible contrarian hat on for a second. Mark's totally right if the goal is winning games, but at the same time, they have to generate revenue. They have to build their brand. They went for the glamour, and this is how they've been operating. Right back to the days of early on when they got Ibrahimovic and Thiago Silva, and all those super talented French players that you talk about. And I agree with you; they produce more great players than just about anybody. Are they going to be big brands? Are they going to, Mbappe aside, are they going to be able to move the needle if all they do is play in Ligue 1 week in, week out? I feel like a lot of these people become stars once they leave France. If Conte had never left, if Tchouaméni, if they'd all gone to Paris Saint-Germain, would we think of them in the same way we do now? And I think that's been part of the equation. And again, maybe that's a failing of ownership. I can see that it was necessary for them to do that, but they opted to go for the star route and pay through the nose for it, and this is where they're left now.
Paris Saint-Germain and Lionel Messi right now go together, but at the end of the season, when he decides on his next move, Lionel Messi, Mark, what do Paris Saint-Germain have? What can they offer Lionel Messi if they continually fail, whether it's the final hurdle, the round of 16, or wherever it is in the Champions League? Why should he stay at Paris Saint-Germain?
I think you turn the question around and say, what can he offer them? Because, he's 35 now, he's 36 in the summer. Lionel Messi, for me, an amazing player, untouchable in terms of what he's doing in his career, but he's now approaching his 36th birthday, and he's not the player he was. So him being at PSG is a vanity project on PSG's part. It hasn't worked out, has it? I mean, last season knocked out in the round of 16 against Real Madrid. This season knocked out by Bayern Munich in the round of 16. Over the two legs, he did next to nothing. Now, he had a fantastic World Cup, but the Champions League is an altogether different level. So the knockout stages, this is the elite, this is the pinnacle of the game. And Messi now is no longer the player that can have the impact that he expected against the Bayern Munich or a Man City or Real Madrid. So if PSG get their hard head on, they'll think, well, what is Messi giving us? Well, he's giving them the brand recognition, like Gab said. He's the biggest star in the world alongside Ronaldo. So that's what he's giving them. But if they want to win things at the football club, they have to move him on. I think move him on and find a way. Look, their brand will grow bigger if they win major trophies like the Champions League. So it's a catch-22 situation. How do you do that without these superstar players? Do you build a team? It's a question they've got to answer. And I suspect, like Gab says, that they'll back the brand rather than the football.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.